So welcome back. And my next guest is Ted Watkins. He is my longest guest that we've had on the air. And I know everyone goes, oh, he's on again. Yes, he's on again, and he's on live for a reason. He comes on a lot for a reason. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and why you come on so much.
Okay, Carol, well, it's great to be back, and I enjoy doing radio, and it's great weather in Phoenix. So
he has his own mini show, the Carol Blonder Ted Show.
Ted Show, yeah. So we're having fun here, though.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you haven't heard me before, my name's Ted Watkins, and I'm what's called an enrolled agent before IRS. And I don't work for the IRS. I'm not an employee. I work for you, the taxpayer. And what enrolled agents do, we're licensed by the federal government. So I can represent people and all over the United States. And we do tax returns, but I enjoy getting people the best refund legally possible, or reducing your taxes as much as we can. But I also help, particularly outside the tax season, I work with people that have tax issues. And unfortunately, since the great meltdown, or whatever we're calling it now, there's been a lot of people that have fallen behind.
We're calling it hell.
Yeah, right. They've fallen behind in either getting their tax returns prepared, or if they prepared them, they haven't had the money to send in with the returns, so they've wound up owing IRS and Arizona Department of Revenue taxes. So what I do, I've been doing this since 1978, and I work with the IRS to get you the best possible settlement that I can do for you.
Here's another thing I want to say, too, that Ted has calls, all of the time. Sometimes they call me directly. Sometimes they call the station. Sometimes they call him. It doesn't matter. Sometimes they'll be listening to him for 4 years. They finally call. It's just amazing how it works. And that's what I love about this show, too, is that you can do that. And that's the reason why it comes on. And there isn't a time, maybe a couple times, but most people call all the time about something that they need help with, generally. But here's what Ted does. He does free consultations with everyone. We've got our lines open here for everyone to get entered in to win a business or personal tax return. If you haven't done them for 2015, and we know you're out there, the ones that call in and say, I need Ted's really bad. And also, he's going to enter everyone who's done their taxes for 2016. So it's a business or personal tax return. That is a $450 value free to you right there. You've got a tax organizer. We're going to talk about that. That's phenomenal. And everyone's getting entered in to win that. That's 15 pages long, and we'll talk about what that is. He also said the number one question that he gets is what to keep, what not to keep, how long to keep it. So you're going to get the record retention guide. That's 4 pages long. You're going to get a Walmart card or a Starbucks card. Like I said, there's nothing he doesn't like to give away. Our number here, 602-277-5369, and toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. We've got our lines open now, so you can start calling. Okay, Ted, let's talk about, the power of attorney real quickly, and how you can go back for 3 years for free for everybody. Go ahead.
Okay. So you might be curious as to why I'm on in the first week in November, but it's actually a really good time to meet with people, and we can do some tax planning for you. I'll also go back for 2013, 2014, or 2015. Take a look at your returns and see if they were done properly. If they were, I'll tell you that. And all this is at no cost to you. I don't charge any fees for this. But if I find some things you might have missed, or it looks like it wasn't done properly, then we can. I would recommend that we file an amended tax return for you. Now, the reason I can only go back 3 years is because that's the IRS law. They can chase you for 10 years, but they only let you get your refunds for 3. So, unfortunately, we can only go back 3 years for you. But a lot of times I will, if I can save some substantial tax money for you, it's worth it to file an amended tax return for you.
And how much is it, Ted?
Well, amended tax returns are typically, they run about $200 to $250. They do involve, actually, they're more work than preparing a return from scratch.
Well, when someone, though, gets you as a power of attorney, it's only $175. What about that?
Well, yeah. If you have some tax issues, then a lot of the outfits that will send you letters from L.A. and Miami and Denver, they'll request a retainer of anywhere between $3,500 and I've heard as high as $18,000 from one outfit in L.A. But that's not how I work. All I do is I charge you $175 up front to file the power of attorney with the IRS. And the reason you have to have a power of attorney is because of the privacy laws, so they won't give me the time of day without the power of attorney being on file. So once we do that, then we find out what tax returns you may need to file and then how much you owe in taxes, and I can get written transcripts that the IRS will fax to me. So we know exactly what you owe, and we know what tax returns you have to file, and then after that, you can make a decision whether you want to hire me. I hope you do. If you choose to do it yourself, I wouldn't recommend that, but some people do. But at any rate, what I'm getting at is that the only upfront money I require is the $175, and then we know where you're at, and then I can quote you fees to get you back on track with IRS.
What's the longest guy that...
1982.
1982. I love saying it. I can't believe it. But they are out there. A lot of people are out there. Don't put your head in the sand. He's been doing this since 1978. He has 2 Valley locations. One is in North Scottsdale. The other one is North Phoenix. He does have the sharpest pencil that I know anybody to have. He's the most meticulous person that I know anyone to have. So he will get you. He's going to work for you, and that's what he's all about: is getting you the best the deal that he can give you, and get you the most money or the least money that you have to pay. You can check him out on his website. It's Ted Watkins. EA.com. You can call him direct. He does free consultations. The number is 602-363-1952 or 480-707-7670. He can help anyone in the United States, the US of A, so anyone can call him. And so he's been doing it since 1978. He's going to offer everybody a free business or personal tax return from 2015 or 2016, and there's nothing like having an enrolled agent doing your taxes. He does not charge you any more for being an enrolled agent. He's going to go back 3 years for you if you need to. That's for free. He's going to give you the tax organizer. That's awesome. We're going to talk about that in a minute if I can get all this out first, Ted. He's also going to give you the record retention guide. The number one question that he gets asked is, what should I keep? How long for? You're also going to get a Walmart card. Oh, we'll get it out. A Walmart card or a Starbucks card. And our number here, 602-277-5369, and toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Okay, real quickly before we go to a break, tell them about the tax organizer.
Okay, if you go to my website, tedwatkinsea.com, on the home page, there's a little icon that says Tax Center. And if you click on that, it'll bring you down. It says Free Tax Organizer, I believe. And what that is, it's 15 pages long, but it covers almost any kind of type of tax situation you run into, like if you sell your stocks and bonds, if you have your own business, if you have rental real estate. But if you don't have any of that, it also goes over almost all the legal tax deductions you're entitled to. So it's worth your while to spend 10 or 15 minutes going over it, because you'll probably pick up a lot of items you didn't think were tax deductible. And we still have quite a few tax deductions, even though they've taken quite a few of them away from us over the past 20 years or so. But if you don't have the time for that, I do have a one-page, what I call What to Bring With You to Your Tax Interview, and that covers most of the major categories.
We're going to leave our lines open here. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some stories that you have. I love hearing those. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Ted has been doing this since 1978. I do think that everyone, no matter what, should have the tax organizer to see what you can get. And you don't have to be intimidated by it at all. You just have to look at what pertains to you. The record retention guide, I think everybody should have. He has 2 Valley locations. One is in North Scottsdale. One is in North Phoenix. His website is tedwatkinsea.com. You can call him direct. He does free consultations consultations. His number is 602-363-1952 or 480-707-7670. He's going to give you the free Walmart card or Starbucks card. He's going to give you a free consultation. You're entered in to win a personal or business tax return that's a $450 value, free to you or someone you know. 602-277-5369 and toll free. It's 1-866-536-1100. So welcome back. We're talking with Ted Watkins. He's my longest guest, 7 years. What we were talking at the break, and we were talking about the longest person that had taken to do his taxes, which was 1982. And I asked you what the longest. We've talked about this before. The longest person that took to call you that's been listening to the show.
Yeah, there was a gentleman about 3 weeks ago or so that had listened to me for over 4 years, he said. And he finally gave me a call, and he had some problems with the Wisconsin Department of Revenue. And we were able to do where we're actually still working on it, an offer in compromise where you offer the government a percentage of what you owe. And unfortunately, he had gotten levied from his bank account about a week or so before he called me. And if he had called me earlier, I probably could have prevented that. But at any rate, we're working on his issues with Wisconsin, so we'll probably get a good result for him.
My point in saying that and having you say that is because people wait. People listen there all the time. They hear the show, and they say, oh, yeah, I'm going to call. And they don't call. But don't put your head in the sand with this. This is something that gives you peace of mind. Everybody that calls you and talks to you after they're done talking to you, they're like, wow, why didn't I call earlier?
That's right. I try not to make it like a trip to the dentist. You know, most people think doing their taxes is about like going to the dentist, but we try to make it as easy as we can. And if we can get a good settlement for you, it's going to relieve a lot of financial pressure off you, too.
Well, we've got two Valley-like locations. One's in North Scottsdale. The other one is North Phoenix. His website is tedwatkinsea.com. He can help anyone in the United States, so listen up, everybody that's listening out there. You can also call him direct at 602-363-1952 or 480-707-7670. He's been doing this since 1978. He does free consultations for everyone. You're going to get the free tax organizer. You're going to get the record retention guide. You're going to get the free Walmart card or Starbucks card. And the best thing, again, too, is the enter into getting a business or personal tax return done for 2015 or 16. That's a $450 value right there, free to you or anyone you know. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. Okay, I got it out. So let's talk about the stories.
Okay. Actually, these were two people who had gone to the same tax resolution company in Houston, Texas. And I won't mention any names, although they are out of business now. But both of them had paid about $5,000 to this firm, and the firm had done absolutely nothing for them. And they went bankrupt, and there's a $200 million civil judgment against them in the state of Texas. But at any rate, the first one, we met just a couple days ago, and he signed the power of attorney, and he owes about $35,000 or so. So we'll be able to get him probably a monthly payment agreement. And then the other person, I just finished his 2015 returns, and he actually lives in Houston. I'm not sure how he got my name.
He heard the show.
Yeah, he might have heard the show, or I don't know. But at any rate, he lives in Houston, so we just finished up his 2015 returns, which I just sent him to him priority mail earlier this week. So on both of them, we'll be able to get them probably a payment agreement for each of them, and then but they'll have the IRS off their back, and all this will be done for a lot less money than $5,000. And like I said, neither one of these people, the tax firm, did absolutely nothing for them.
So what was your other story? Well,
those were two
of the two people.
Two people,
okay.
Two different people.
So the person that, when you had told a story one time too of a person that was almost had lost their home, they were literally days away, I think, from losing their home. I mean, everything. And you have really helped so many people out there, and so many of the listeners, the thousands of the people since you've been coming on the show.
That's right.
And people that, really there are a lot of people out there that are in trouble. We know that you can help people too that are not in trouble, but you specialize in the other way.
Yeah, most of my work outside the tax season is helping people that have tax issues. And I guess the main thing that you need to consider is that the IRS is not going to go away. I mean, they operate pretty slowly. A lot of times they can take years to track you down. But if you work for somebody on a W-2 or you have a bank account, if they have anything that has your Social Security number on it, they can eventually track you down. And if you make them track you down, they're not in a very good mood. So once they find you, unless you come forward real quick, they're going to start to issue bank levies, and they can issue levies against your wages and salaries and commissions. And believe me, they can take most of what of your growth or whatever your take home is, and you won't even have enough to pay your utilities, much less of rent and a house payment. So I guess the main thing is to be proactive with them, is to come forward. And a lot of people think that if they give me a power of attorney, it's going to put them on notice and cause them problems. But it's really the opposite is true, because once I contact the IRS, I immediately, if you're in collections, I ask for what they call a collection hold. And what that means is they can't issue any levies against your bank accounts and your income. So a lot of times they'll give me up to 60 to 90 days to get your tax returns filed and come up with an option that will work for you, for your budget and so forth.
Well, let's talk about the tax organizer, since I've been saying that we were going to, and we haven't.
Okay. All right. So the tax organizer is on my website, tedwatkinsea.com, and it's 15 pages long. It's a one-size-fits-all. So if you've sold real estate or sold stocks and bonds, or you have your own business, it covers that. But it also covers you if you work for somebody, so it helps you pick up all the deductions that you're entitled to take. And also, I will mail these out to you. If you're not an internet person, you don't necessarily have to go to the website and pull it out. We're happy to mail it to you, and we'll usually mail that, the record retention guide, and then either the Starbucks or the Walmart gift card in one package out to you if you don't want to download it.
Well, again, you can call in here. We love for people to call in the station and get connected with him. And I always give the numbers to everybody that calls in so that you guys can get what you're looking for calling in the station. Our number here, 602-277-5369, and toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. The tax organizer is phenomenal. I really think that everybody should have that tax organizer no matter what by their desk. Also, the record retention guide. In the record retention, it's 4 pages long, so there's a lot of different things that are on there. Go ahead.
Yeah, the record retention guide, it covers both business and personal, and it tells you how long you should keep each different type of document. There's also a list of things that you should keep forever, like your purchase and sale of homes, wills, trusts, etc. So it really tells you how long, because you can't keep this stuff forever either. You'd
have a garage full of
paper, and you'll be paying too much to storage companies. So, but it's good, and it tells you what you should keep, and that's the most asked question I get is, how long should I keep my records? So
again, we've got that. We're also going to give you the business or personal tax return. That's for 2015 if you haven't done, or 16 if you have. And again, there's nothing like having an enrolled agent do your taxes. He does not charge anymore just because he's an enrolled agent. That's a $450 value free to you. You do free consultations. You're giving everybody also you're going to give him the Walmart card or the Starbucks card of their choice, whichever one you want. He can help anyone in the United States. He will go back 3 years for you for free. He loves to give stuff away to all you guys out there. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. Check him out. It's TedWatkinsEA.com. So we have less than a minute or so. What should we talk about as we go here?
Okay, I did have one other very short story I forgot.
I knew you did.
Yeah, I had, it relates to ID theft, and that's a big problem in Phoenix. And this gentleman had his several years' tax returns out on his desk in his home, and he had a break-in, and they stole the tax returns. And so he had to notify the credit bureaus, and we had to get him they have an identity theft special ID number you have to get from IRS. So be careful. You shouldn't have your tax returns out in the open. I'd have them locked away somewhere. But they just came in, and they may have been looking specifically for documents where they could commit identity theft.
Well, there's a lot of that goes along. A lot of that lately. I don't know why, but anyway. So really, right now, we want everybody to just keep on calling. I'm going to let the lines open for the rest of the show for you to call in for everything. He's giving everybody the free tax organizer, record retention guide, the free Walmart card or Starbucks card. He's going to go back for you the last 3 years. Also, he gives you a free consultation and the business or personal tax return. Our number here, 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100.